I just want to assure you that members of the armed forces are here to support you in this election, to make sure that the election is peaceful. Our drive, our mandate from Mr. President is to ensure that it is peaceful, free, fair, and credible. And that is what exactly we're going to do. So everybody you see here is here to ensure that is done, and that's the mandate. And that is why I'm here to also look at it, to see the troops and address them critically for them to understand the importance of free, fair, and credible elections. Nobody is to take sides. Whoever it is that is popular and the people want, we want the people to be the ones to select who they want, not who is being imposed on them. So at that, I can guarantee you. We have done it for other states in the past 3 elections. I'm sure you noticed that it went well. We want to do the same thing here. The days of impunity are over. The election shouldn't be war. People shouldn't die because they want to go and select who they want to vote. So, in clear terms, that's why I came.
Politicians will behave the way they like, but members of the security agencies should give the public assurances and confidence. Like we're not asking for any favors. We're saying let Edo citizens be free to go to the polls and express themselves the way they wish, and will accept the outcomes of any properly conducted polls. But when you have a situation where citizens are being intimidated by people in uniform, last night some people woke me up at 3 a.m. There were policemen at Edo Central trying to still arrest people last night. I got a call this morning again about the Sienna boss at the area office with the mandate to come and pick up. I mean, elections are 2 days away. We have, people who have been arrested, taken away from Edo. In law, it's only fair. If you claim that somebody has committed an offense in a place, you arrest that person and try that person in that location where they committed the offense.
Well, we did say that our conversation on the upcoming Edo elections happening this weekend is not over just yet. We did speak with Mr. Samson Itodo earlier of Yaga Africa just to give us a look and feel of what is going on. You've heard again the promise of the CDS to provide security and create a conducive atmosphere for the elections to take place violence-free in Edo. But just while we, hang on to those assurances, let us also get the last word. What is the key messaging of the 3 main contenders, the 3 main political parties involved in this race? I know that today the candidates will be doing their last mop-up. It's the last day of campaigns according to the schedule released by INEC. And at the end of the day, while it is, the candidates are the ones who are going to be in office if any one of them is elected, it is their political parties that carry the machinery of the message, or at least should do so. And so we're going to be speaking with some of the actors and the political parties involved in this race, especially the 3 top contenders, that of the APC, the PDP, and that of the Labour Party, as were mentioned in no particular order. This morning, we're joined by former minority whip of the House of Representatives and also a member of the All Progressives Congress, Mr. Samson Osagie. Welcome to Sunrise Daily this morning, Honorable. Okay, Honorable, I understand you're muted. If you can unmute, that will be very helpful. But also, We have joining us Madam Aisha Yesufu, who is an active citizen and also a member of the Labour Party. She is also joining us this morning. I'm unsure as to whether she is in Edo State, but I want to imagine that she is live in Edo State this morning. Madam, you're welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, you're not very audible. I just can hear you faintly.
Oh dear, I'm going to keep doing my best to be as loud as I can. Trust me, I'm speaking the loudest I possibly can. So I imagine that the technical team would work on making sure that the audio works better for you to hear me. And we also have Mr. Ken Owie, who is a real estate magnate, we understand, and perhaps a member of the PDP, but he certainly supports the candidate of the People's Democratic Party in this election. Mr. Owie, you're welcome to Sunrise Daily this morning as well.
Hello? Hello?
Mr. Ken Owie, can you hear me? Well, this is the conversation we're going to be having this morning. I can only...
It's very faint. Can you speak louder?
I am certainly speaking at the top of my lungs this morning. I hope that...
Can hear you now.
Great.
Good morning, please.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the program. I'm going to be praying and hoping that the connection in Edo State, where you all are this morning, will improve. I hope nothing has been done to the connection there ahead of the elections that are going to be taking place this weekend. But we know that your different political parties and the candidates will be going out for the last mop-up of the campaigns this morning. What is the key message that you have for the people of Edo State as you go out? Let me start with you, Madam Aisha Yesufu. Two major political parties have been on the ground in Edo State. The people of that state have tasted the two political parties, that of the PDP and that of the APC. What is new that the candidate of the Labour Party will be offering to the people of Edo?
Thank you so much, Makwe, for having me here. I think what is new is the fact that this is going to be administration of a good governance. What he's trying to offer is service to the people, that the people matter, not the might of a party, not the might of a certain God-parent, but that it is the people's votes that matter. And when the people vote for him, and he knows that the people that brought him, definitely he's going to work for the people. And so all the things that he is looking at is the fact that it is the turn of Edo people to experience good governance, accountability, and transparency, to actually see how things work when people focus, when the focus is on the people and ensuring that the people have a good life and a better life. And so Unlimited Akpata is coming in with those ideas and servant leadership, and saying that he wants to put Edo at the place that it's supposed to be. And I think for every Edo person, what we should all be looking at is who is the person that is best fit for the job. And definitely by the time you end up voting for him in the Labour Party, we're going to get that, and we will hold him accountable and ensure that the people finally understand that governance is of two sides, supply and demand, and the people voted in are the people who supply, and they're supposed to supply good governance, and the people who voted in will continue to make demands.
Okay, let me come to the candidate of the beg your pardon now, it's not the candidates we're speaking with this morning, they're members of the political party. But let me come to you, Honorable Samson Osagie. What precisely, I mean, you've heard Madam Aisha Yesufu there, she says it's about good governance for the people of Edo State. That's what the candidate of the Labour Party is offering. What is your candidate offering the people of Edo State?
Thank you, Makwe, for having me on this program. We have consistently said about our candidate, Senator Monday Ukpebolo. He has the passion, service to the people, and this passion he has demonstrated in his capacity both as a private person and in his capacity as Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Beyond every rhetoric, he is the only candidate in this race that has demonstrated love for the people, because he has God-given position in the past to render service to the people of his constituency and his central. Now, he has come up with a 5-point agenda bordering on security, food, agriculture, value-driven education, healthcare delivery, and of course, economic rejuvenation of the state. Monday Okpebholo is one individual who has a serious passion for service delivery. And this he has done by providing services, social services to the people of his constituency. And I believe that he will bring that passion to bear in the administration of Edo State, especially in the areas of decayed infrastructure, misplaced priority of the current government in so many areas, where, for instance, the healthcare system has been reduced to rubble with the demolition of the main hospital in Edo State and conversion of same to a museum. He tends to develop infrastructures, provide services in the education sector, both in infrastructure and manpower development, provision and employment of a vast number of teachers, because across the state, we have no teachers in our school. The healthcare is in comatose. And to respect institutions of state and institutions of governance, he saw that at the end of the day, there will be harmony across the states against the very divisive nature that this government has put Edo State into. I believe that of all the candidates in the race today, he is the one that has a track record of having served his people and has continued to serve his people, and that he will bring to bear.
Well, we'll see, I mean, how eventually the Edo people decide when they eventually go to the polls. But let me come to you, Mr. Keno, where it does appear that it is the legacy of the PDP that is in contention here. You have heard both parties, the other parties saying, look, what we're offering is good governance. The other one says, look, what we're offering is a 5-point agenda focusing on infrastructure, etc., accusing the PDP of having brought down some structures in that light. What precisely is the continuity, or is it a new page that the PDP is hoping to turn with its candidate, Mr. Aswe Godalo?
Thank you, Mokwe, for having me. It's a beautiful day, but we are trying to encourage our people to come out en masse that day to come and vote, you know, for the candidate of their choice. You know, nobody should be asked to vote for any person, because the 3 political parties, they are already presented their own, seem to be, you know, ahead of the 2 of them, because as the last speaker said, he has a whole lot, you know, to show, even when he's not in government. You know, it is so much. And now as a senator, he has also done so much. So it's not the question that I will do. This I will do. They've all been in government for over 80 years. What is new that you are bringing to? I've done it for the past 8 years. The same I will do. They have been in Shomole government over 8 years before the president. So these promises, we are tired of promises, Senator Okpebholo, aka Apakomiza, because I have told everybody that, you know, you have to build on the legacy of Shomole left because
Mr. Awia, I would, if you can hear us, I'm going to ask you to please, perhaps you can disconnect and rejoin the Zoom. The audio is not very good. We cannot hear you very clearly, sadly. We'll be very grateful if you can disconnect and rejoin so that we can rectify whatever problems are there with the audio. But let me come back to you, Madam Aisha Yesufu. You spoke about accountability. That is what you're offering the people of Edo State. There are fears, I mean, between the PDP and the APC over the last couple of years, and the divisions that have happened, the disaffection, the fallouts that have happened with their own, will I say, their candidates. And you have been following the politics of Edo State for years. I do not need to tell you. you know, where Mr. Godwin Obaseki used to be and how it is that he came to join the PDP. But however, it does appear that there have been a plan, a roadmap that they have been following between themselves. They fear that, you know, that will be totally discarded if your candidate is elected into office as governor. Is this something that they have, because they believe that there needs to be some continuity in government? How will your candidate, you know, overcome, how is he been able to assuage that for the people of Edo State to say that, well, projects that are ongoing that maybe have a longer gestation period will not be abandoned?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, thank you so much. I think you're phrasing up a bit. I hope you're hearing me, and I do agree. I do agree. Whoever that has the fear that the plan of APC and PDP will be thrown away, it's actually factual, because the plan that they have given us is a plan of failure. And you see between them, these are two parties that just have two different branches. They are the same. For example, you see one of them, they wake up in the morning, the current governor that we have, the first half of the game, he was APC, second half, he came out as PDP. You see people, his deputy governor who had come back to APC and all of that. So Edo people should know that these are people that are the same. At the end of the day, the failure that we have gone through, 25 years, you know, of this democracy that we have, Edo State hasn't really enjoyed the democracy, the dividends of democracy as much as it should. And so, yes, that plan is going to be thrown away. The plan that we're talking about now is the plan of good governance, is the plan of working for the people, is the plan of ensuring that things are put in place that is going to uplift the people economically, that the lives of the people are going to be secure. And I'll tell you something, they always say that you know, in the pudding, it's the taste in the pudding for you to know what is going to happen. One of the things that Olumide Akpata did was to ensure, before he even wrote his manifesto, before he even put out his pact, to go around Edo State, the 18 local government, 3 times, talking to the people and finding out what actually are the problems of the people. And that's why he got to find out about Osaro that before would go to Benin, do the Benin and Warri trip 3 times. That today he could barely do once. He said that he's wasting his time at the filling station, or the roads are so bad he can't travel, or there's insecurity on the road, he can't travel. And these are the problem. I'm not just this one. A lot. We've seen situation whereby a hospital was brought down and a museum was put there. You know what we have in museums? Museums, we have relics, we have artifacts of people mostly who are dead. And so it seems as if, you know, the killing is just what wants to go on. Now we're saying no. We must have a situation where there is education, there is security, and of course, the economy, enabling environment for the economy to thrive. One of the things also that Olumide has really talked about is on the issue of electricity. We know what it is if you have 24/7 electricity in a community, in a place. Businesses will thrive, and this would help. And Olumide, as someone who has been a corporate lawyer and has worked with people in the electricity sector for a long time, has a very good foundation on what is needed to get this to happen. And these are the things that he's bringing to the table. Like yesterday when he was talking, he talked about Abia State. We see what is happening in Abia State. This is what happens when someone is able to get in on the mandate of the people, not depending on godfathers or party to give them, because then you can work for the people without having any tussle. And he said Abia State provided 1 billion naira for small businesses to be able to get interest-free loan, that he is ready to do 2 billion for them. We see what is happening in Rivers State, where there's fight, there's quarrel, godfather deals. We don't want to have the same thing in Edo State. We want to have a situation where that somebody comes in, he knows he's accountable to the people, he was voted in by the people, it wasn't by any big political party or whatever, it wasn't by any godfather, godmother, whatever, but by the people of Edo State, and will ensure that he works for the people of Edo State. These are the things that Olumide Akpata is coming in. A lot of people are talking about turn, that is turn by turn, where APC have done their turn, PDP have done their turn, and they haven't given Edo State good governance. If they had given Edo State good governance, we'll be here talking. People will say, okay, and let them be. But they haven't. So they need to move aside and let other people who have fresher ideas come in and actually give good governance to Edo State. Finally, I'm going to just add that for those who are saying that, oh, it's the turn of, Edo Central and all of that, well, it's the turn of good governance. And we have to say it. If it's turn by turn, then it should have been the turn of a woman. If you're saying it, we have two religion in Edo State. One will be the turn of a Muslim. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether you're Christian, you're Muslim, you're woman, whether you're good governance, you want.
Well, Madam, I'm very sure that Mr. Osagie has responses to some of the issues that you have raised. But while you are doing that, Mr. Osagie, I'd like you to also comment on the position of people that your candidates and the candidates of the PDP did not show up to talk to Edo voters through a debate. Is there a reason for that? And how do you see that affecting the chances of your party in the elections?
Thank you very much. I think what is more important at this stage is to look at what actually are these candidates up to in terms of how do they intend to drive the policies, and as to whether the current program of this government will be tuned out. I agree with Asha only to the extent that this current government has practically had no definite program for the progress of Edo people. And that is very clear from misalignment of policies, misplaced of priorities across the board. If this government, the governor who was a product of the APC in his first tenure, were to follow the program of Comrade Soshomole-led APC government when he came in 1960, we will not have had a flooded Edo State and an infrastructure deficit regime in Edo State. So this government failed totally, and it has no program which anybody is to tell us that to continue with. The only program that they have to continue with is disrespect for traditional institutions, misplacements of priorities, capital flights that will not empower Edo people economically, and so on and so forth. And let me also say this. Edo State, since the beginning of this democracy, has witnessed a glorious era of economic and social development between 2008 and 2006. When Governor Adam Somole had sway as governor of Edo, it is still on record today that his projects and his developmental initiatives across the state still resonate with the people of Edo across the 3 senatorial. So why it can be said the PDP had failed this state, it is not correct that the APC-led government has also failed this state, in the sense that the glorious era that Edo people witnessed tremendous improvements in their lives and in their environment.
But that still doesn't, Mr. Osagie, if you can hear me, that still doesn't answer the question of why your candidate didn't show up for the debate. Just a second, just one second, Mr. Osagie. Just one second, if you can hear me, because that's the question that I asked you first. And the issues that you have raised do not address the reason your candidate didn't show up for the debate. If you can speak to that pointedly.
I am not the media handler of the candidate, and I believe that he had more serious issues of campaigns and electioneering he was attended to. And he has been speaking to Edo people. He has been speaking to Edo people on all platforms across the state.
But you do know, Mr. Osagie,
and the majority of the wars across the state.
Yeah, well, you do know that when you have, if you can hear me, when you have a debate such as that, I mean, you go, on campaigns and all of those things, you are talking to a particular class of people. But when you have a debate, when you engage in a debate, you are actually talking to a completely different set of people altogether. For which reason it would have been a good thing to debate against a candidate with which you are contesting the elections.
Across Edo State, many communities do not have electricity to even watch television. But that is not to say many do not watch. I agree that the debate is important, but if it clashes with a major appointment for campaign, the candidate or the party may choose which to attend first, or how to decentralize the needed responses at different quarters. I am not saying it's not important, but I am saying that our candidate is speaking to Edo people on all platforms, I mean, across the board and across the cities and district, and Edo people have heard him across all the local government.
Well, you know, one of the issues that I was wondering if there was an interview he granted to journalists to address them on any of those issues that you're talking about, which would have been a wonderful opportunity for him to address it at a debate. But anyway, let's leave that aside. Now, that said, do you see he's not appearing? You can hear me 1 second. Do you see he's not appearing? How do you see it affecting his chances, having not spoken to people directly at a debate with a candidate?
It is not correct that he has not spoken to people. He has had engagement, town hall meetings with a cross-section of elite class, of professional groups, market women, and so on, religious groups. He has had engagement with them, physically, a town hall meeting. If he has not appeared on any media platform, as you want to say, which is not correct, then it may not have been a deliberate attempt to ignore the media or not to respect that particular media house that have organized it. But by and large, sort of elite conspiracy, I believe that the candidate that have engaged most with the people of Edo State by visiting them almost in their homes and in their works, in their domains and everything, is the candidate of APC. And I think they have heard him loud and clear. He's not a motivational speaker. He does not claim so, like the candidate of all other political parties. But he has a passion which he has demonstrated even before he was elected as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
All right. Thank you. Well, thank you, Mr. Osagie. Let me ask Madam Aisha, about this as well. So here we are, because your party has not contested any election in Edo State, at least to the level that we have it today. What are the chances of the Labour Party? And I'm not talking about your candidate, I'm talking about your party, because it's the logo of your party that's going to be on the ballot. What are the chances of the Labour Party in this election?
The chances of the Labour Party are quite great, because at the end of the day, you just heard what Dr. Samson Osagie, representing APC, just talked about, which is that a lot of he said, and I'm quoting his word, trying to paraphrase, that a lot of communities in Edo State do not even have electricity to watch television. And so that's why his candidate refused to appear for the debate. So that tells you everything. There's a lot of suffering in Edo State. There's a lot of poverty. There is a lot of insecurity, and things aren't working. There's wastage, in terms of our governance. The whole years that we've had between APC and PDP, they have just used the state resources the way that hasn't been beneficial to the people. And so because of all of this suffering, the people are tired, and they're getting to a place where they're getting their own power. There's something that Olumide Akpata always says. He says the 21st of September 2024, which is the election day, which is this Saturday, that it's actually Freedom Day. Freedom for the people of Edo State, to be able to come out of the suffering, the hunger, the lack of electricity, the lack of care and regard for the people, the disrespect for the people. And so that anger, what they say about Edo people, we know they carry last. And that anger is what the people are using now to say, look, we need to have someone. And yes, you talk about parties, you understand. The Edo people are looking at who is the person who is most competent beyond the parties. And they're saying this. And during the presidential election, we saw what happened. Labour Party, the heartbeat of Labour Party is actually in Edo State. We saw during the presidential election, Edo State is one of the states that the Labour Party won. So Labour Party have all it takes, because the people that are in Edo State are quite passionate about Labour Party, and they're also passionate about Olumide Akpata.
I'd like to know, if you can quickly comment on this, how is the current crisis within the Labour Party also affecting the chances of your candidate? Do you think, have people expressed any apprehension about that? Did you catch my question?
Oh, Mark, were you talking to me? I didn't get that.
Yes, I was asking how the current crisis, the non-recognition of the Julius Abure-led faction by INEC, is it having any impact on the campaigns that has been put out by your candidate?
Absolutely not. It is not having any impact. The same way that the crisis that is rocking PDP and APC, they are also not having any impact. There's a leadership tussle out there, and the INEC has said no, it doesn't recognize that because, and of course now we have a caretaker committee that has been put in place, and so that takes care of that. The other things, yeah.
I'm so sorry, we're totally out of time. We're almost at the dots of time now, but I have to thank you both for coming on the program. Honorable Samson Osagie, former Minority Whip, House of Reps. Madam Aisha Yesufu, member of the Labour Party and an active citizen. Well, we tried to get Mr. Ken Oware to represent Mr. Aswe Godalo of the PDP. Well, sadly, his connection was not very good, but we have to thank you both and wish you all the very best as you go to the polls this coming Saturday. Well, that's how we wrap up the program this beautiful Thursday morning. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maokwe Ogun Yusuf.
And I'm Ayo Makine. Have a beautiful day.